Taiyo married his childhood crush, only to find out her entire family are elite assassins trying to kill him. To survive, he has to pass the ultimate deadly spy training, dodging lasers, poisoned food, and literal bombs just to stay alive. Can a normal boy survive this psycho family? Let's jump right into the story. Asano was a happy young boy, but everything changed one day when his entire family got killed in a tragic car accident. He was the only one who was able to survive with scars and bandages. This scares him so much that he refuses to make any friends, because he can't bear to see them get hurt. The one person who decides to stick by him is his childhood friend Mutsumi Yozakira, who is the only person he ever talks to. Several years have passed by since then, and they have both entered high school, but even after a month of being in the class, he refuses to make any friends. A small group of 3 guys constantly ask him to hang out and to be friends, but he keeps rejecting them every single day, whereas Mutsumi has gotten friendly with everyone and has become a high school idol who is every guy's crush. She walks over to Asano and sits down with him to eat food and tells him to go out with the boys sometimes as they seem friendly, but Asano refuses to make any friends and instead turns it around, claiming that if she wants to be so friendly, why didn't she go out with the 3rd year who confessed his love for her? She tells him that she was not interested and takes out her lunchbox, but just as she was about to feed him, Hiza, who is the vice principal of the school, intercepts the bite and starts eating it. Asano is surprised as he never heard him coming, while an annoyed Mutsumi tells him to go away. He tells her that he can't stop himself from having her tasty home-cooked food, but decides to leave before telling Asano to meet him in his chambers after school. Later that day, Asano heads over to his office, confused about why he wants to meet with him. He enters the room and is greeted by Hiza, who has prepared tea, and asks him to sit down. Asano is extremely uncomfortable because of how close Hiza is sitting, but is shocked when Hiza starts asking about Mutsumi, and why is he so close to her. He starts feeling weird, while Hiza starts showing him pictures of Mutsumi ever since she was a 3-year-old child, which is very weird as they have only known Hiza for a month. He continues telling Asano about how hard it is to keep boys off of her, and how he had to beat the crap out of the 3rd-year guy before he promised never to look towards Mutsumi again. Alarm bells start ringing in Asano's head when suddenly Hiza takes out a knife and puts it at Asano's throat in a swift movement, telling him to say his prayers. When everything seemed lost, a white-haired girl enters the room through the window, stopping him and uses a flashbang to escape alongside Asano. He wakes up a while later in the evening and finds himself surrounded by a bunch of unfamiliar faces. His social anxiety kicks in and he starts running away into the wall, confused about where he is, but Mutsumi tells her not to worry as these people are all her siblings and he is in the Yozakira house. She introduces everyone, as the white-haired girl is called Fuda, the green-haired guy is Shinzo, the pink-haired girl is Shin, the furry is named Kengo, while the buckethead is named Nana. She tells him that they are a family of spies and feels relieved after finally telling him the truth after hiding it for 10 years. He starts freaking out, but she tells her not to worry as spies are very common nowadays and you can even book them online. He still thinks it's a prank and grabs a gun from Shinzo thinking it's a toy, but it ends up shooting, which scares the crap out of him as his whole life turns upside down in a matter of minutes. Fuda tells him that they are freelancers and actually have a 4.8-star rating on Trustpilot for completing their job. Kingo tells him that Hiza is the oldest sibling who stays the most in the limelight in the spy magazines and is responsible for boosting the image of their family so much. Fuda tells him that Hiza is the best spy in the entire family and apologizes on his behalf for endangering his life. She tells Asano that when Mutsumi was a child, there was a big accident in which she got terribly injured and Hiza took all the blame on himself. Ever since then, he has become obsessed with the job of protecting her sister no matter what. But all these years he let Asano slide because he was a childhood friend. It all changed recently when they got an online tip on Twitter about someone planning an assassination for Mutsumi. This gave Hiza the excuse to get rid of Asano as well. Suddenly an alarm starts sounding in the house, and everyone starts getting on their feet as Fuda tells him that Hiza must have entered the house to finish him off. Asano starts freaking out, but she tells him not to worry as he is probably the safest with them, but honestly tells him that even while fighting 5 against 1, their average win rate against him is only 30%. She turns towards Asano and tells him that the only way his life would truly be safe is if he marries Mutsumi right now. She explains that their household has an unbreakable rule about not killing any family member, and even Hiza wouldn't break this rule. All Asano has to do is to exchange rings with Mutsumi and the marriage would be complete and they could live as a family. The word family triggers his PTSD again and he starts breathing heavily, but Mutsumi tells Fuda that it would be very cruel to Asano, who is scared of making connections with people. Fuda apologies for being insensitive, and all of them start getting ready to beat Hiza up, when suddenly they notice that he has already entered the room and is sitting between them. He turns towards Shinzo and tells him that he destroyed all his traps and tells them to hand Asano over, but Fuda steps up to him and grabs his tie. She starts swinging him around the air before slamming him to the ground, as Shinzo uses his robot arms to pin him down and Nana takes some steroids to punch him in the face, while Kengo and Shin take Asano away with them. Unfortunately, Hiza is unhurt and uses his special move to blast both of them away while he stands up, telling them that they leave too many gaps in their attacks. Asano is stunned to see how strong these people are, while Fuda tells them that she will buy them some time. She runs over to him as Hiza starts using his spider wire ability to block all her attacks before tying her up to the roof. Shin tells Kengo to hide Asano somewhere, while she takes out her phone and activates some drones that descend from the ceiling and start shooting at Hiza. Meanwhile, Tengo takes them to a different room, and together with Matsumi, they put Asano behind a hidden picture frame. A little while later, Hiza enters the room after destroying all the drones without a single scratch on his face, only to find Matsumi and Asano together in the room. He tells her to hand the boy over, but she starts running towards him with a gun alongside their dog, but Hiza is leagues above them and ties her up with her wires before removing her mask to reveal Tengo inside. Knowing that it's of no use, even Matsumi reveals himself wearing Asano's disguise and tells Hiza that Asano is of no danger to her, but Hiza tells him that there is only one way he won't harm Asano, and that is if she agrees to never leave her home. This catches her off guard as Hiza starts walking towards her, telling her that she will never have friends, never have any romances, any fun, and even will lose her internet privileges, but at least this will ensure that she will stay safe forever. He hugs her as she starts crying as she knows there is no other option, but Asano, who was watching everything through a peephole, reveals himself and tells Matsumi that she doesn't have to do this. Hiza tells him to piss off as he has no use of him anymore, but Asano shouts at Matsumi to give her the ring as he is ready to make her his family. Matsumi cries tears of joy as she takes out one of the rings and throws it towards Asano, who jumps forward to grab it, but to their dismay, Hiza is much faster and uses his spider wires to trap both him and the ring at the last moment. Just when Hiza thought it was finally all over, Asano shows him his tenacity and strength by powering through the wires that cut his hands to shreds, but he grabs the ring and wears it on his finger, completing the marriage and officially becoming a family member as the others watch. Matsumi hugs him tightly, while Fuda tells a distraught Hiza that now he can't hurt Asano, and will also have to train him so that he can protect Mutasumi at all times. Later that night, Asano gets up to return, and even though Fuda offered to drop him back home, he refuses, and decides to head home together as he thinks Hiza needs more mental support right now. He lays down on his bed, looking at his ring and thinking about the crazy day he has had before drifting into a deep sleep. The next morning he wakes up by an alarm, and the moment he turns his eyes up, he spots Hiza standing on top of him with a knife in his hands. He tries to shank Asano, but he rolls away just in time to protect himself, which impresses Hiza as he claims it was just a friendly test. He asks what the hell is Hiza doing in his home, and he replies that this is the traditional wake-up call of the Yozakira family. Asano rightfully thinks that Hiza was just trying to kill him, but Hiza claims that this is all part of his training because to be a spy, he needs to sleep while basically keeping his eyes opened. He then tells him to get ready for traditional Yozakira morning exercise and uses his wires to completely tie him up in the air. Meanwhile, Matsumi was making lunch for the day and hears Asano screams, so she rushes up to see what's happening only to find him suspended mid-air, while Hiza forces his body parts to stretch. She shouts at her brother to let him down, but Hiza simply looks at his watch and tells her that it's time they all left the house. He quickly grabs Matsumi and their bags before jumping out the window as a bomb explodes inside Asano's house, blowing it to smithereens. Hiza puts them down and explains that Asano's house was rigged with a bomb sometime last night. He promises to explain more about it, but tells him to get one thing in his brain, which is the main goal of the family is to protect Matsumi at all costs. He then tells them to get inside the car, while Matsumi helps him up. Inside the car, Hiza talks with Shinzo, who found out that the bomb was rigged inside the kitchen, which means that the target of the assassination was Matsumi. Asano is very confused, but Hiza replies that information spreads very quickly in their lives, and the news about Matsumi's marriage has spread like wildfire, and almost everyone knows about it. He is still confused and asks why would they target Matsumi, and Hiza replies that the answer to that is very simple. He claims that Matsumi is the 10th head of the Yozakira family. Hayes further elaborates about their family history, and over the years they always took part in espionage because their bloodline has a special power, which gives the Yozakira family children superhuman abilities. According to him, in every generation, one of the Yozakira children are born without any superhuman abilities, and those have historically always been the head of the family. Hayes claims that even though the head doesn't have any supernatural powers, they are the only one who could give birth to children with superhuman abilities. This means that without the head, the Yozakira lineage and its superhuman people will simply go extinct, and that's why Mutsumi is the legitimate head of the family, and the only person who can keep their bloodline alive, and gets a bit pissed off at the fact that such a loser ended up marrying her. Because their family is so old and famous, they have tons of enemies that want to eradicate the Yozakira family, and the best way to do it is to get rid of Mutsumi. While he was saying this, a car approaches behind them, and some people load and shoot a rocket launcher at them, which the driver manages to dodge in time. Asano gets scared, while Hayes seems completely chill, while their car gets shot at by multiple machine guns. He tells him not to worry as the car is bulletproof and tells the driver to go faster. The enemies give chase and take out a heavy-powered machine gun and start shooting at the limo, while Hayes calmly drinks his tea. Mutsumi tells him not to worry as their pet dog Goliath is the best driver around, which freaks him out even more. While the enemies shoot rockets at them, the sharp turns end up spilling Hayes' tea, which pisses him off, so he jumps on the roof and simply uses his wires to block all the bullets, while the rocket guy shoots another RPG at him, which gets utterly destroyed by his wires. After styling on them, he throws his wires and cuts the pursuing vehicles to shred, making them explode, and comes back inside as if nothing happened. He tells him that he has married Mutsumi, which means it is now his responsibility as well to protect Mutsumi at any cost. He hands Asano a gun and tells him to kill anyone who he suspects, and shows him the Twitter account of the person who rigged the bomb at his house. According to Hayes, he is one of the best bombers alive and is incredibly dangerous, but one flaw in him is that he is addicted to social media and basically exposes his plans himself. He tells Asano to take care of Mutsumi for the entire day as he has to attend to another job, and threatens to kill him if she even gets a scratch on her. During the pee period, he ends up getting a notification on his phone as the bomber tweets that the second bomb has been set already. He looks around and spots a shadow moving through the corridors, so he immediately heads inside towards the infirmary where the nurse asks if he wants anything, so he simply moves away. Back inside the class, he watches Mutsumi during the lunch break as she talks to her friends when suddenly he gets the notification that the third bomb has been placed as well. He looks around defeated and realizes how hard Mutsumi's life is. While he was deep in thought, the three Gus walk up to him and offer him some chocolate, which to their surprise he readily takes and eats. This shocks them as they ask what happened to him, as he wouldn't even speak to them before. Asano totally forgot about his social anxiety, but it starts creeping back in, and he blacks out. He wakes up in the infirmary being overlooked by Mutsumi, who asks whether he is fine. He thinks about how nice she is, and asks whether she is sure he is the right person for him. He claims that even after being childhood friends, he never knew about her family, or the fact that she has to fight to survive each and every day. Hearing this, Mutsumi gives him a karate chop to the head, telling him that he is wrong, and that he is the one who entered such a crazy family like his, and in truth, she always wanted to marry him. This relaxes him a bit when he suddenly spots a bomb placed on the ceiling of the room about to go off. The bomb explodes with a loud bang, destroying everything inside the room, but Asano manages to save Mutsumi by hiding beneath the couch. He realizes that the bomber is much smarter than they gave him credit for, and he was putting out updates on Twitter to distract Asano and making him focus only on Mutsumi. He removes his coat and sure enough, there is a small bomb attached to his shirt about to explode. And the episodes end here. Comment and subscribe for the next part.